What's up, guys? TruckDriver101.com. I am Big Ken. Been driving for a decade. And if you'd like to purchase the book for you new drivers out there from me to help you new drivers how to start in trucking, click the link below. Now, on to the podcast. And yeah, this is a podcast. Yep, I put pictures up, and I did a podcast on YouTube. Deal with it. So, if you can hear the background, I'm driving home right now. On my way home at 3:25 in the morning. Because life is fun and joy. Long day. So, let's talk today about what fits you. So what inspired this podcast was I was watching a video by a guy talking about being a lease purchase operator. And he was talking about how he's leased his truck, not through a company, but through a private owner, and basically how much better it was. And it was kind of funny to me, like, he's been an owner operator, didn't like that, right? So then he decided to rent a truck. And he basically said, like most people do, he talked about saving money. But the truth is, you don't save money. But it's not so much what I got from watching it was he just didn't like paying the bills. He liked for someone else to pay the bills, and he paid that person to manage his business. So for 12 cents a mile, which he can either pay out his pocket or pay it to a rental company or a lease company and have them pay him. And I didn't knock the guy because it's really how he likes to do business. And that's really the important thing, to do business the way you want to do it. Some people don't want to own the truck. They don't want to lease it. They would prefer to not have any of that burden on them. They prefer to be a company driver. Some people just want to own the truck outright and have full control. Right. They would prefer to be an owner operator. Some people want to go out and get the customers and own all and have a fleet of trucks. Right. They want to be a lease purchase operator. Some people want to do it but not have their own authority. Not a lease purchase operator, I mean have their own authority. An authority guy have their own authority, which is a completely different animal. Right. But in the midst of all these people and all these suggestions to be an owner operator, lease purchase operator, or have your own authority, the thing that really you'll find when you listen to all these guys on YouTube is they're really matching their business. They're trying to match their business with their personality. So if you're a type of person and you're outgoing and you're good at meeting people and shaking hands, then you probably would be good at having your own authority. Right. But I know. Yeah. Motherfucker is like doing 20 miles an hour and ain't doing shit. They kill me with that. When you want to get through a light, you just cut your sirens on. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, so your business should fit your personality. And if you're the type of person who doesn't want full control, doesn't want to go out finding customers, right, but you want to own a truck or a fleet of trucks, then you go and you work for a company. And that's the most important part, because the thing I know is all these guys who sell this shit to you, they want to talk about one thing and one thing only. All the money you gonna make. That doesn't happen if you don't match up with the right personality. A person who can't sell themselves, right, or run other people isn't going to be good at building their own fleet, right, at anywhere. So you have to match your business with your personality. And especially in trucking, because a lot of times the reason you see so many failures in owner operating or other stuff is because it just doesn't match up with who they are as a person. One of my favorite things is I'll run into owner-operators all the time who hate taking their truck to the shop. Like, it's always something wrong. But you talk to an owner-operator who's been doing it for a long time, they take their shop to, every time they're off, they take their truck to the shop. Because they want to know what's wrong with it. And they don't want it to break down when they're at an inopportune time. And it is amazing how many owner-operators you'll talk to who don't save any money, who don't have a maintenance account. These are people who should be company drivers to me. You know, and it's just a fact. Like, there are guys who are owner-operators and they're company drivers. And if you're not willing to manage your business, then you're a company driver, right? And it just like, and it's funny because they always have the tragedy story. You know, I made all this money, but I had to spend $5,000 to fix my truck. And it's like, yeah, yeah, that happens. You should have that money already put away. So, anyway, long story short, guys, think about who you are first, and then pick a business or part of trucking to get involved with. Think about what you really want to do and what matches up with who you are as a person. Anyway, guys, truckdriver101.com. Figured I'd talk about that random thought while I was driving home at 3:31 in the morning. What's up, guys? truckdriver101.com. Had to turn around and see if they got my load yet. So, what am I doing today in the exciting world of trucking? The exciting world of trucking. In the exciting world of trucking, I'm sitting waiting on my load. Sometimes things are just crazy. Anyway, guys, so today I want to talk about speed limiters and how I just don't see anybody talking about pissed off four-wheelers. Nobody talks about this. So let me take you on an adventure of what it's like driving a governed truck currently. You're driving down the street. This is Ken. You know, I was driving in, I think it's Missouri. Anyway, no, Kentucky. Driving in Kentucky, guy slows down to 30, 40 miles an hour. I get to go around him. He stays right on the tail end of my truck and won't let me get over. All the people, all the car people, even though this guy's driving a U-Haul moving vehicle, and he's in my way, and he's sitting there chatting on the phone and talking. I have to take my truck and, like, push it over on him just a little bit, get a little closer to him in the right lane, so he'll get over. Right? Now, this dude was doing, he was telling my truck he had to be doing, he seemed like he was just going just slow enough and fast enough just to keep up with the end of my truck. Because I bet he wasn't paying attention. But that's not the point. The point is, he was basically blocking up both lanes. So anyway, I go to get back over, and a pissed off teenage motorist decides, I'm going to take revenge, and starts slamming on his brakes in front of my truck. Right? So he's got these two girls with him, and I can see he's trying to be impressive. He's basically about to get himself killed. Luckily, I'm not one of those cold-ass drivers who would just run his dumb ass over. But the point being that when you put these limiters in, nobody seems to be mentioning the fact that it causes road rage, the fact that we can't go as fast, especially when you get into places where people don't pay attention to speeds. Like when you get in places like out west in California, even in like the rural areas where people just don't pay attention to speed. I mean, it's tons of small places you'll go, and they don't care. They'll do 70, 80 miles an hour, even if it's marked at 55 in a construction zone. Right, and you're doing 55 and people get mad at you, even if it's construction workers out there. And that leads me to another thing, this whole, this idea of that if we had autonomous cars and autonomous trucks, then accidents they would still happen. Because one, no one wants to go to work at 55 miles an hour. Right. Two, people are impatient jackasses. And there's this idea that, no, it's not everything is a misunderstanding. Some people are fucking assholes. And it's just true. Some people want to go in the middle of the rain, want to do 80 miles an hour in trucks and in cars. And it's not a car-truck problem or people driving problem. It's an asshole problem. And you can't make people not act like assholes. Even when you come out with this technology, it's still got to be maintained. Right, what are you going to do with the Joe Blow trucking company that doesn't want to maintain their equipment? What you going to do with the guy who doesn't want to maintain his equipment? Right, it's, the idiot driving 90 miles an hour in the rain with the bad tires, whether it's in a truck or car, they're the same idiot. It's not about sides or, this is this group or that group. It's just assholes. And it's such a problem with admitting assholes exist. But they do, And it just amazes me how, no one brings that up. We're going to put these limiters on these trucks, and we're going to make everything autonomous, and this is going to solve... No, it's not. Who's going to buy a car and go to work at 55 miles an hour? Nobody. And you think they get mad? What are you going to program a truck to do when some idiot kid slams on his brake and brakes in front of the truck? Right? What are you going to do? What are you going to do when Joe Blow Trucking Company doesn't upgrade the sensors properly? What are you going to do when there's a recall on the sensors? I'm driving a Cascadia 2015 Cascadia day cab Freightliner right now, and this stupid thing has it has a scanner in it, and it screws up all the time. All the time. It slams on the brakes for bridges. It slams on the brakes for hills on the road. It screws up. You can't have, if I'm not here to correct it, it would just stop in the middle of the highway. And it doesn't care who's behind it. It doesn't care, when it makes a mistake. And the less the driver drives, you're going to end up, to me, it's like the airplane situation. Like in the airplane industry, I should say. In the airplane industry, there's a delusion of automatic pilots, right? Because they believe they're so accurate and so great. But the truth is, when they go wrong because the pilots drive less and less, it just causes so many more problems. And then they try to say, well, there's near misses, but that's because airports had to get bigger to satisfy 777s. And it's just like when they say, we'll have autonomous trucks and, there won't be accidents. Well, yeah, but that'll be because baby boomers will die. Right? They're going to die. And as they die, there's going to be less people in the United States of America because baby boomers had kids, but their kids didn't have as many kids as equal to the generation of baby boomers, and so on and so on. So the country is going to shrink, which means the accidents are going to go down. But that doesn't mean that the assholes driving 90 miles an hour in the rain have all of a sudden stopped existing, and you're not going to fix that part. And this is really about this love for Gene Roddenberry and the great, the world, everything is going to be done for me. I don't want to live a life where everything's done for me. I sometimes look at the future and I say, you know what, I'm glad I got to live at the part where technology is helpful, but it doesn't completely control your life. Right? And I think in the future, it won't be that way. I think people will end up letting this shit control their life. But back to the real point of this whole conversation. Sorry to go so far off track, but limiters influence people's behaviors, and it needs to be brought up that they influence behavior. Right? They're not just limiters, right? They influence what people do, and I think that needs to be brought up. So anyway, guys, truckdriver101.com. Just rambling on about that while I'm waiting on my load. See ya.